który jest poświęcony studiom w Wielkiej Brytanii, studiom na uczelni w Portsmouth, która oferuje specjalne stypendia dla obywateli krajów członkowskich Unii Europejskiej. Jest ze mną Teodor, który łączy się z nami bezpośrednio z Anglii, który będzie prowadził dzisiejsze spotkanie z kwestii organizacyjnych i kwestii technicznych. Otrzymają Państwo oczywiście nagranie po zakończonym webinarze, otrzymają Państwo nagranie bezpośrednio na maila. Jeżeli będą się pojawiać jakiekolwiek pytania, to gorąca prośba na używanie funkcji czatu. Do wszystkich pytań odniesiemy się na końcu, a niebawem na górze ekranu pojawi się taki przycisk, poprzez który będą mogli Państwo zapisać się na bezpłatną, indywidualną konsultację o studiach w Anglii. Tyle ode mnie. Theodor, I'll hand over to you. I'm not sure how good your Polish is, but I just did a very short introduction and welcomed everybody. I'll hand over to you. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Adam. Hi, everyone. My name is Theodor Żelazkow. I work at the University of Portsmouth in the UK. And today I would like to talk to you about the university, about what it means to study here, what we offer in terms of facilities, accommodation, courses. I think we will cover everything that will be of interest to you. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being here. Thank you for spending the next hour with us. I hope this will be useful to you. And after a couple more visits to Poland, I think you can ask me about my Polish again, Adam. Maybe it's going to be better than it is now. So a couple of things about myself. First, I was a student here at University of Portsmouth years ago. I studied my bachelor's in business and human resource management, and I did my master's in international relations, both at the University of Portsmouth. So I know the place really well from a student perspective. And for the last 5 years, I've been working in the international office at the university, and I've been dealing with students from Europe who want to come and study at Portsmouth. Now, the first thing you see on the photo is a very nice view of the Portsmouth Marina. So this is the Spinnaker Tower that you see there. And that area in Portsmouth has a lot of shops, a lot of bars, a lot of restaurants. It is called Gunwharf Quays, and it is the place where most of the part-time jobs available are on offer, and it's one of the nicest parts of the city. So you will see that Spinnaker Tower everywhere on our promotional materials, also behind me on the background. It is the symbol of the city, and we like to make this joke that it looks like the Burj Al Arab in Dubai, the hotel on the beach, because it is designed to look like a sail of a ship. So that is a fun fact for you. So where is Portsmouth? First of all, you might not be aware, Portsmouth is located on the south coast of England. It is by the sea. It is an hour and 20 minutes to London with the train. So it is a fairly easy and very close connection for the UK standards. If you're getting a train or if you're getting a bus, it is fairly easy to get from Portsmouth to London and back, especially when the time comes for you to fly into the UK. You're going to be flying mainly into Gatwick, Heathrow. They're both an hour and 10 minutes to Portsmouth. If you're going to Luton, that's about 2 hours and a half with train or by train or by bus. So it is a fairly easy and very well connected place. So from Portsmouth, you can go to London, you can go to Southampton, Brighton, Bournemouth, even further up north in the UK. It has also good transport links to the rest of Europe. A lot of our students like to take the ferry to go to France, to go to Spain. So it is a very well connected place. You will not be stuck in the middle of nowhere. You will be very easily accessible to any of the transportation links in the UK and abroad. In the UK, you normally have two types of universities: city universities and campus universities. The campus universities is where the university is located outside of the city, where you have to travel from the city to the university and back every day. Portsmouth is the second type. It is a city center campus, which means all of our buildings are within the city center, and our students really like the fact that they don't have to travel in and out all the time on a daily basis. They are always within the university and always within the city center. That helps a lot with saving time and money. Now, I do believe in visual. So this is a map of the city. This is how Portsmouth looks like. As you can see, it's surrounded by the water. So and the fun fact for you, Portsmouth is actually an island. It is one of the very few, if not the only, island cities in the UK. So From that perspective, it is a beautiful location. It is on the south coast of England. But more importantly, the purple square that you see on the screen in the photo, this is where the campus, the city center, and the accommodation are located within that purple square. From one end to the other end of that square is about 10 minutes walking distance. So it is very quick and very easy to move around the place. And students save a lot of time and money by having a campus that is so compact and always at the city center. In the South Sea area, which is the bottom part of the map, that is the area where students go and live in year 2 and year 3 in private accommodation. That entire area is covered by a free bus, which is only for the students. So if you're using the university bus that we provide, you don't have to pay for it. It is every 20 minutes every day. So the transportation cost in Portsmouth for students is literally zero. And if you've ever been to the UK, you would know that transportation is one of the most expensive things in the UK. So that decreases the living cost average by a lot, and we'll talk about that in a second. But the main point here is that there is a free bus only for the students in Portsmouth. The campus is 15 minutes away from the beach. It is 10 minutes walk from Gun Wharf, which is where the tower behind me is and where all the shops are for part-time jobs as well. And it's also the accommodation is within 10 minutes within that purple square. So everything is very close by. I've lived in Portsmouth myself for the last 12 years, so I know the place really well, and I've never had to go anywhere in the north part of the city. There's just neighborhoods, there's just houses there. Everything that you will need as a student will be mainly in that purple square and within the South Sea area. This is a good time to mention that the university has 30,000 students, so it's a big university, and 6,000 of them are international and European students from more than 150 countries. So it's a very multicultural, it's a very international place and allows for the students to be social and to find friends from all over the world, literally. A lot of the universities would be talking to you about rankings, about success, about achievements, and they are important. It is important for you to go to a university that is doing well, that has good ranking, and that is well-renowned. At Portsmouth, we have TEF Gold for teaching excellence. We have the 5-star QS rating. We are top 3 modern university. We are in the top 30 for student satisfaction. But the most important ranking for me is the one in the second row in the middle. We have 94% of our students are working or studying within 6 months of graduation, which is the employment rate of the university. When you're talking to university representatives, ask them about the employment rate, because at the end of the day, the whole point of going to university is to get a job. And we at Portsmouth realize that, and we commit to helping students to be successful and competitive at the job market after they graduate. What can you study here at Portsmouth? I don't know what has gone with the shrift there, with the font on the bottom, but that's okay. So these are the main subject areas that you can study in Portsmouth. We've got about 300 courses in total, so there's something for everyone. We've got accounting, economics, and finance, as well as business and management. So a lot of different programs there within that field. Applied linguistics and TESOL. We've got animation, computer games, and visual effects. Architecture, artificial intelligence. So we have a brand new robotics and artificial intelligence bachelor's degree, which students are really interested in. We have biology and biotechnology. So anybody who wants to do biomedical science, who wants to do biotechnology, that is something that we also offer, as well as marine biology. Because Portsmouth is on the sea, we can also offer a marine biology course that looks and focuses on the water and on the oceans. The business and management I already mentioned. You can do anything there, including HR, marketing, accounting, economics, and anything else within that field. Computing, so computer science, software engineering, cybersecurity. They're very, very popular these days, and the university is very good with these subjects. Criminology is one of our best degrees. We've got 6 different criminology-related degrees, and we have one of the biggest departments in criminology in the UK, and especially criminology with psychology, criminology and criminal justice, but criminology and forensic investigation is the course that most students want to study. This is everything you've seen on TV, CSI. This is all about gathering evidence from a crime scene, analyzing them in a lab, presenting them in a court case. So this is one of our most popular and most practical degrees. We also have crisis and disaster management for masters. We have dental hygiene, dental therapy. In the engineering field, there's civil engineering, electronic, mechanical, renewable energy, and software engineering. So engineering department is very strong from that perspective. On the creative side, we also have fashion, photography, graphic design, architecture, computer games design, film production, and TV and broadcasting. So all those creative courses we also have available. And students on those degrees have worked for really big companies. For example, Ubisoft, Bethesda, Rockstar for the computer games design technologies. A lot of our students have also worked on things like House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones, including The Witcher as well. So the production quality in those courses is so high that those students can then get jobs in those very high and very popular productions in the end. International relations, another very popular field, as well as law. We are one of the very few universities that have our own courtroom, so students can practice the law degrees there. Logistics and supply chain management, marketing and analytics, digital, fashion, and international marketing, pharmacy and health sciences, project management, psychology, and sports science. All of those fields would have degrees within them, and there's, as I mentioned, about 300 different programs. Most of those fields would have bachelor's and master's courses as well available. So we have the whole range of options there. Now, we also focus on practical learning. We believe in practical learning. We think this is the best way the students can learn, by putting the theory into practice. That's why we have the facilities to support that. We have simulated environments and industry standard software. So by the time you graduate from the university, you are ready to go and get a job in any company, whether it's in the UK or abroad or back in your own country. We do focus on that, and that combining those four elements, including our career center, which I will mention later on, will be something that contributes to the 94% employment rate that the university has. In terms of experiences, our bachelor degrees are 3 years, as most of the UK universities are offering, but we also have the additional 1 year for the so-called sandwich or placement or internship. It has many different names. It means that after the second year of study, you can go and work in a company to get some practical experience, to get a salary if it's in the UK, and also to get some connections and understand what it's like to work in that particular industry that you're studying for. This allows our students to be more successful in their jobs, in finding jobs afterwards, but also in getting grades after they graduate. So we do recommend the placements. The placements are not compulsory; they are only optional. So if you don't want to do the placement, you can just study for 3 years and then graduate with your bachelor's degree. But getting the complete experience in the UK education is including if you want to do the placement as well. So we do recommend the placement. And the university has a career center, it has placement offices, people who will help you to obtain that and be successful in getting and securing that placement. So it's 3 years without a placement, 4 years with the placement for the bachelor degrees. The master's degrees, it's only 1 year for master's courses, and some of our degrees also offer 1 additional year as a placement or a few months as a placement during the summer. Portsmouth also offers you the connected degree. So if you don't manage to get a placement after year 2, you can get a placement after year 3 once you graduate. We give you that flexibility to choose when to do the placement, depending on your circumstances and on how you plan to do this. You can also go and study or work abroad for 1 year or for 1 term. We have plenty of partners universities around the world, in Europe and in other places as well. So the study abroad option is available for any course that you want to study. And you can also learn a language for free. So any course that you're studying, if you want to study a language, and we currently offer Spanish, French, German, Italian, Arabic, Japanese, and Mandarin, you can add that language to any of the courses that you're studying for free. You don't have to pay for that. This is an extra thing that we are offering you as well as students. We have a lot of facilities, as already mentioned. We have the Ravelin Sports Center, which is a massive sports center that we opened 2 years ago. So it's brand new. and it costed us £50 million. So it's an incredible facility that has a swimming pool, it has a gym, it has a lot of studio classrooms and other facilities as well, and our students love it. And for students, the price for that sports center is about £25 a month, which is a very affordable fee for the amount and the quality of the facilities that you get with that. We have the university library, which is 24/7 during term time, so it doesn't close. But not only the physical space, which has a lot of computers, it has a lot of laptops, it's a very modern place, but also the digital resources. And in your year 2 and year 3, you will be expected to use more digital resources to support your courseworks and your assessments as well, rather than just purely books. We have motion capture studios, we have the Dental Academy, the Center for Creative and Immersive Extended Reality, which includes the green screen lab and everything else that you need to create a game, to create an animation or a movie. We have the Institute of Marine Sciences, an extreme environmental lab, music and sound recording studios, the replica courtroom. We are one of the very, very few universities in the UK who have our own courtroom, and an interpreter training suite. This is just a small list of all the facilities that we have on campus. The students get to use to make sure that their studying is supported and they can put the theory into practice, as I already mentioned earlier. We also have a London campus, in case you're not aware. It opened 2 years ago, so it's very new. It is slowly growing. We currently offer the following courses that you can see on the slide in London, and we know that some students would prefer the London location. They would want to be there no matter what. So that's why we've opened that London campus. It has 3 intakes in February, in May, and in September. But bear in mind, if you're considering the London campus, it's only a few hundred students there, and it's only those courses. The main Portsmouth campus has 30,000 students and all the cultural variety that I already mentioned. But if London is the place for you, if you're really interested, we can also provide that option as well. Now, you're not only going to be studying there for 3 years, but you're also going to be living there. So you want to have some fun. You want to make the most of it. The Students' Union that we have at Portsmouth has about 150 clubs and societies of all interests. They could be national societies. They could be societies for sports, for music, for anything else that you might be interested in. And you can join a society like that. We even have a Quidditch team. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, you can go and watch them. You can go and join them playing Quidditch. So they're hilarious to watch. But this just shows you the extent of the range of societies that we have on campus. Even if you have an interest or something that you want to do and you don't have a society at the university, you can set it up yourself. All you need to do is to find 5 other people or students that share the same interests, and you can set up your own society. You can also take part in the social events and trips that we organize. So we take students to Cambridge, to Oxford, to Bath, to Bristol, to other places in the UK every month to experience that culture and those places. You can explore Portsmouth. Portsmouth is a very historical place. It has the famous British author, Charles Dickens, was born and raised and lived in Portsmouth for most of his life. If any of you have read the Sherlock Holmes novels, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle used to live in Portsmouth for a few years. We also have the Royal Navy, we have the HMS Warrior, HMS Victory. So there's a lot of history in Portsmouth that surrounds you. But most importantly, you will spend time with new friends. A lot of the friendships you will make here will stay with you for a very, very long time. I've met quite a few people here during my time, and I still keep in touch with them after all these years. They're based in Africa, in Asia, in Europe, in the States as well. So those connections that you will make here will stay with you for a very, very long time. Speaking of the societies, this is just a sample of the European societies that we have. We have the Greek and Cypriot Society, Czech and Slovak Society, Spanish, Portuguese, Scandinavian, Turkish Society, and many, many more. And you can see them using the link on the bottom of the page to see all the societies that we have. In terms of the support, so the University of Portsmouth Global is where I work. This is the department that deals with international students. We organize airport pickups. We have an international student advisors team. So if you need anyone to help and support you with the visa when you join us at the university, or you need some expert advice, this is the team that can help you. But also, if at some point something goes wrong, you need someone to speak to, you feel unwell, or there's anything that is wrong, you can come and speak to us. This is what that team is there for. And in the UK, the culture in the university is very different. It's very supportive. It is there to help the students with the transition period, because we understand that this might be the first time most of you are leaving home, you're leaving your country. So this is it may be a difficult thing to do. That is why there's so much support available at the university. We have a team which deals with exchanges and study abroad, and the global officers, which is what I'm part of. So we would speak to you either online or in person about the university and about what we have to offer. Outside of our department, if you're concerned about your English language, if you're concerned about writing coursework or doing presentations, we have additional classes that you can sign up for, and that is how you build those skills and those additional skills that you may want to develop. So we provide all of the support for you to use. You also have a personal tutor, so that's another person that will be looking after your general well-being, your academic progression. So the support is there, it is available, but we cannot help you unless you tell us when something goes wrong. So please come and speak to us if you need to, and we will be able to support and help you, not only before you join us, but also during your time at the university. Again, building on the student support services, we have the well-being service, the multi-faith chaplaincy, personal tutor, student finance support. If at any point you need any hardship or emergency funding, there is the university. The university has a pot and a team that can help with that. We also have the careers and employment service. So if you are looking for part-time jobs, placements, or full-time jobs, there are people who can help and support you with that. And I will talk about that in a second. Academic skill support, I already mentioned. If you want to improve your skills, your skills in terms of writing presentations, coursework, or delivering public speaking, you can also do that. In-sessional English, if you're still not sure about your English language once you join us, you can sign up for additional classes, and also the faculty engagement officer. So there's a lot of support available for you whilst you're with us. Now, in terms of the working situation, I'm sure a lot of you might want to work during your studies, and at least your parents might want you to work. So the University of Portsmouth and the city offer a lot of employment opportunities for the students. So the student visa that you have will allow you 20 hours per week maximum to work during term time. This means that a lot of our students are working either in the evenings or during the weekends, and you need to make sure you don't go over those 20-hour limit, the 20-hour per week limit. Most of the students are working in bars, in cafes, in shops, in restaurants, in hotels, many different customer service environments in Portsmouth, which do provide those opportunities for the students. The national minimum wage is about £10 an hour, and if you work 20 hours a week, you will be making about £700-800 a month, which in Portsmouth is enough to cover your living costs completely, because on average, students need about £700 per month in Portsmouth for rent, for food, for transportation. If you make £800 a month, that covers the majority, if not all, of your living costs. So Portsmouth is a very affordable place from that perspective. When it comes to working after you graduate, the Career Center, which I mentioned, has this. You can do CVs with them. You can do practice interviews with them. They can give you guidance on where to apply, what job to go after. We also organize those events on campus where we would invite we would invite companies and employers to come and speak to you and offer you advice on how to build your CVs and how to make your applications. And we also provide information sessions on the graduate immigration route visa. So your student visa will cover the period of your study. Once you graduate, you will have 18 months to stay in the UK to find a job. If you don't find a job within those 18 months, then you're going to have to return to your home country. Normally, we see that our students find a job between 6 and 12 months after graduation, so it is well within that period. Now, the most important question, how much does it cost? As you know, after Brexit, the universities in the UK are mainly charging on average about £19,000-20,000 per year. And this is for all students who are not from the UK. There are very, very few universities that have an European scholarship, which is what we have. So at Portsmouth, the tuition fees for any student from the EU who holds an EU EEA or Swiss passport, so that's the European Union, the European Economic Area, or Switzerland, and have lived in the European Union, European Economic Area, or Switzerland for the last 3 years, their fees will be 50% less. So instead of £20,000 per year, the fees will be decreased to £10,300 per year. For 26 start, and for 27 and 28 start, it will be £10,900 a year. So it's still underneath £11,000 a year. This is a very unique scholarship that not many other universities in the UK have, maybe only one or two. And this is our commitment to our European students from before Brexit, from after 2020, and this scholarship has been extended for 3 more years until 2028, including. So that is how much we value European students, the insight they bring, the mindset they bring, and the cultural variety they bring. And that is why this scholarship is available to any student who has an EU EEA passport and has lived in the EU EEA or Switzerland for 3 years, for the last 3 years. These are the 2 conditions that we have for this scholarship. If you decide to do the placement year, the 1 year in industry, you only pay 10% of the tuition fee for that particular year, not the full fee. The way it works, once you apply, once you send us your documentation, which I will talk about in a second, there will be a £3,500 deposit once you're sure that this is the place for you, and only after we have confirmed that we accept your grades. That's the last thing you do, is to pay the deposit, and this normally happens the summer before you start your degree. Okay, so we're not asking you to pay anything in advance before you are certain this is the place for you, and before we have confirmed that we have completely accepted you. Okay, there's nothing else you need to pay in advance to the university. And in terms of the tuition fees, we also have installment plans available for you, so you don't have to pay all the fee at once. Well, how it works is before you start your first year, as I already mentioned, there is the £3,500 deposit that you pay in the summer before you start university, once you are sure this is the place for you and once we have confirmed that we can accept you. When you register in September, you have to pay up to 50% of the fee for the first year, and the remaining 50% you can pay in 2, 4, or 6 installments, entirely depending on what works best for you. And you can see on the screen here the structure of those installment plans, and you can choose whichever one works best in your situation. Students like that, parents like that. You don't have to pay one big sum of money. You can make it in installments. In terms of accommodation, so we have plenty of accommodation available, mainly because over the last 5 years we've been building accommodation for our students, and we have 5 brand new buildings. Now we have enough room to guarantee a room in the halls of residence for the first year of study to any student that meets our middle of June deadline. So if you send us all your documents and you meet all your conditions by the middle of June, your room in the accommodation is guaranteed. We have never had a situation where there were not enough spaces for students to stay on our campus. Consider that they have applied on time. If anybody applies in middle or end of August, it's very unlikely there will be a room for you. But if you apply earlier, it's 95% certain you will be able to get a room. All the rooms in the accommodation are single rooms, and so you don't share the room with anyone else. And every room has its own bathroom, so you don't share the bathroom either, apart from the cheapest accommodation in which 3 students share the same bathroom. But the plan is for this one to be not in use anymore in the next couple of years. But all the others, you can see them on the website. They will tell you if they include a bathroom, if they have an en-suite bathroom, how much they cost per year, per month, and per week. And you can also see videos and photos of how they look inside, so you can have a really good understanding of what they mean. The accommodation is within walking distance, so 5 minutes away from the university buildings, and the price ranges between £118 and £208 a week. This normally includes all the bills, so water, Wi-Fi, heating, electricity will be included in that. The only thing that is not included is the food, so you will have to make your own food. It's a good time for you to learn how to cook if you cannot do that already. There is also private accommodation. Now, the university accommodation is mainly available for first-year students. So in the first year, the expectation is you would move out in a private house in the second and the third year. You can request to stay in the university accommodation for year 2 and year 3, but there's no guarantee this will be granted because the priority is always the new students that come afterwards. So that's why we see the majority of the students, they stay in the first year in our accommodation. Once they meet their friends and once they decide and find the accommodation for year 2, they move out in a house where they live with 4 other students normally. Again, every student has their own room, but you're dealing directly with the landlord, not with the university. So both university accommodation and private accommodation is available. And lastly, the entry requirements. So what do you need to be accepted? If you're going for a bachelor's degree, you would normally need a minimum of 65% from 3 basic level exams from your matura and 60% from 2 extended exams, or an overall average of 60% and 3 extended exams. This is the requirement for the majority of bachelor degrees. There is nothing else that is required apart from that. If you are doing the A-levels, you need 120 UCAS points, which is normally 3 Bs. If you're doing the IB, the International Baccalaureate, that's 33 points minimum. This is for the majority of the courses. If you're doing anything with engineering or pharmacy or pharmacology or something more sophisticated, the requirements will be higher and they will normally require a subject-specific grade. Let's say biology for biology and marine biology, physics or maths for any engineering type of course. If you are interested in a master's degree, then from your Polish bachelor, you need to get a minimum GPA of 4 or above, which is an equal to 2.1 from a UK degree. The second thing you need is the English language. So if you're going for bachelor's degree, you will need an IELTS of 6.0 overall and no component below 5.5, or a Cambridge Advanced Certificate with 169 points overall and 162 in each component. We can also take your Matura English extended grade as long as it's higher than 65%. So that is instead of an English language certificate. That is also an option. I always tell the students, it's better for you to have a certificate, whether it's IELTS or Cambridge Advanced, it doesn't matter, but that gives you more options. And it's very important that English certificate is not older than 2 years from the start of the course. So make sure that you take that certificate after the start of the second to last year of your university, okay? So for masters, we would ask for higher requirements for English, so 6.5 overall with no component below 6.0 for IELTS, and 176 points from CAE, the Cambridge Advanced Certificate, and nothing below 169 points. And again, if you are using the Matura English extended grade, it needs to be 75% or above. You also need reference letters. So this can be signed and dated. These have to be signed and dated within the last 2 years. They can be from your teachers or from your employers. And you also have to write the personal statement. And that personal statement can be, you need to say why you want to study the course that you've decided to study. If you have any work experience or any extracurricular activities or anything else to add on to that, to make it more reflective of what you have to bring to the table, and also talk about the interest of the course. How did it start? Why do you want to study that degree? And how do you see your career progressing later on? And once those documents are sent to us, once we have approved them, once we have accepted them, once you're sure this is the place for you, only then is when you pay the deposit of £3,500. So this is what you need to be accepted at the University of Portsmouth. And this is the end of the slides. So that's the presentation that I wanted to share. I wanted to kind of combine the information that you would need. You've got my email there if you need to get in touch with me directly and ask me any questions. But at the same time, if you're interested in applying, Adam and the EduCat team are very good at what they do. We've worked with them for a while now, so you are in good hands in terms of getting the advice and support for application, for visas, accommodation, and all of that. Last thing I would say before we go into the questions is make sure you check out the social media channels of the university, mainly the Instagram, the TikTok, the YouTube. I know that nobody uses Facebook anymore, but we also have that channel there. So the main point here is that there's a lot of student-generated content there, which will help you to visualize how the place looks like, to see what the students are up to, and to see if this is a place that you would want to consider, or if also this is a place that you don't want to consider, because sometimes knowing where you don't want to go is always a step in the right direction in deciding what you want to study and where you want to study. So that's the end of my slides. Thank you very much for listening. Adam, back over to you.
We've got a couple of questions trickling in, and I'll just open them up on my phone so I can read them directly as they are. The first one is, when would you say is the best time to apply?
So I would say the best time to apply is at the beginning of the final year of school, normally 1 year before the university degree starts. So if this is your final year of school right now, September, October, November, December time is a good time to apply and submit your application. That's where most of the universities' applications would be open. And also it's before the January UCAS deadline. So this is the best time to apply. At Portsmouth, we also accept direct applications. So you can also apply until the end of June, but I wouldn't wait that late, because it is possible that the university course that you're interested in might be closed by the end of April for new applications. So that's why the sooner you apply, the better. At the beginning of your final year of school, if you're doing a bachelor's degree, and at the beginning of the final year of university, if you're doing a master's, if you want to apply for a master's degree.
Yulia is asking, do you have a specific list or number of extracurricular activities that you would suggest students should engage in?
It's a good question.
It's a good question, I guess.
Yes, this depends on what course they want to study. Normally, if there's anything that is in any way related to the course that you want to study at university, that's always a plus. That's always a bonus, because that relates directly to what you want to study. If that is not possible for some reason, then sports is good, music is good. If that is not possible, then any volunteering, any work shadowing, anything that is showing some interest in the particular subject or in developing yourself as well outside of the classroom. Okay, so in those personal statements, you can talk about the skills that you have developed. You can talk about what have you learned from the fact that you were in the sports team or the football team or the volleyball team for 5 years, or swimming for 4 years. Whatever it is, don't just say what you have done. Say what you have learned from it and what were the challenges, because that type of mindset and way of thinking is what the university wants to see. If none of this is possible, anything that you can do online, any training, anything interesting that you like reading, and any podcast that you like listening to, or TV shows, or anything that is related to your degree, you can talk about that. If you have no extracurricular activities, that is not the end of the world. That is not a problem. But as long as you show some extra interest outside of the classroom, that will be sufficient for the university.
Tomek is asking what kind of activities you would recommend for engineering programs?
For extracurricular?
I would assume so, yeah.
Yes, okay. So for an engineering program, I would say any extra classes in physics and maths, any projects in school that you can. Can you hear me okay, Adam? I don't think I can hear you. I think your microphone is muted.
You are back now. You left for a moment, but you're back now. We can hear you.
Okay, maybe the internet connection. As I was saying, anything that is related to maths, physics, any online courses, as I already mentioned, would be good ones, depending on what the school can do. Sometimes also speaking to that relevant teacher is a good way of asking them, is there anything extra I can do? Is there any projects I can get involved in the school? Doing presentations, going to a company or a factory, or anything that is related to the industry would be something that would be useful for the personal statement.
We've got one last question. Let me have a look. This is an interesting one. In order to study psychology, would you recommend applying to the United Kingdom because you get better references for your future job in the future? Or would you recommend staying in your home country? I guess the question pertains more to sort of practicing psychology after studying abroad, and whether you have the right to practice psychology in your home country.
Yeah, that is a good one. That comes up quite often. I would say that you always have to think about your future plans as well. And I will say what I say to the students who want to do law. If you do law in the UK, you're only going to be able to work in the UK with that law degree because it's mainly focusing on UK law. If your degree is international law or European law, that gives you more opportunities. But if it's UK law only, then you have to go and study with the idea that you will probably be working in the UK with that degree. With psychology, and also going back to law, if you do.
Chyba znowu zgubiliśmy połączenie. You're back again.
Okay, I don't know why this is happening, but anyway. So if you can do a master's in international European law, and that gives you options to do something extra. It's very similar with psychology. So I cannot guarantee that a specific company or organization that you want to work in Poland or anywhere else will recognize the degree, even though our psychology degree is recognized everywhere. It's part of the British Psychological Society. It is accredited and it is applicable all over the world. But I don't know whether companies specifically, in your specific case, would accept that. So you need to think about, first of all, what type of psychology you want to study, and second of all, what do you want to work as? Do you want to be a therapist? Do you want to work as a school counselor or a psychotherapist or clinical psychology, criminal psychology? What type of psychology do you want to do? So I wouldn't say come to the UK or stay at home. I could not give you that advice because I don't know what your particular situation, what your motivation is, what your plan is. But think about not only the university degree and the place you're going to study, but also the overall picture, where you want to work afterwards, what do you want to do, and what do you want to practice. Generally, UK psychology degrees are recognized worldwide, and that those connections that you have here and the knowledge and the expertise you will gain in the UK are very strong and very superior. I don't know about the state of the psychology industry in Poland and what you study at universities there, but the strength here is that you will get to do 1 year of industry. You will get to work in a psychology environment for 1 year during your studies, and normally that is enough for students to get a job very quickly afterwards. I don't know if
we
that
have one more question, actually, this time on our chat window here on Click Meeting from Mariam. Are there any scholarships for students who live in Europe but don't have citizenship of a European country?
So there are a couple of other scholarships, yes, and then again it depends on your particular case and situation, but you can check those on the website. The first scholarship is a £2,500 discount on the first year of the fee, and that's automatic for students from certain countries that have passports from those countries, and they are listed on the website. That is automatic. It is not based on grades. There's another scholarship which is again available to students from certain countries, which is £5,000, and that is based on your grades. So for this one, you need really high score in your high school or university, and then the academics will gather all those high score students, and they will decide who gets it based on whoever has the highest degree. So the first one is £2,500. That's automatic for students from certain countries. Second one is £5,000. That is based on grades, and you have to apply for that separately. It is not automatically given. Again, for students from certain countries, you cannot combine the two scholarships. You can only get one or the other. And these are the only ones we have at the moment, apart from the European scholarship.
Fantastic. I don't see any further questions. I see that some people have already registered for a one-on-one with us, so we will be following up on that. Thank you very much for joining us all the way from the UK. Państwu serdecznie dziękujemy za uwagę. Jeżeli mieliby Państwo indywidualne pytania co do studiów w Wielkiej Brytanii, studiów na University of Portsmouth, to zachęcam do kontaktu poprzez banner na górze, poprzez zielony przycisk. Możemy mailowo umówić się na takie spotkanie. Jeżeli banner nie działa, to tutaj na czacie też zostawiam bezpośredni adres e-mail do nas. Jeżeli teraz jesteście w 4. klasie liceum lub w 5. klasie technikum, to jest najlepszy moment na złożenie aplikacji. Jeżeli jesteście w klasie 3. liceum, 4. technikum, to teraz powinniśmy się zabrać za przygotowanie wszystkich dokumentów po to, żeby od września taką aplikację wysłać. To dotyczy University of Portsmouth, ale również studiów szerzej rozumianych w Wielkiej Brytanii. My jako edukat oczywiście w całym procesie Państwu pomożemy. Osoba, która będzie prowadziła Państwa aplikację, będzie to osoba, która sama za granicą studiowała, więc jest to osoba, która ma teoretyczne i praktyczną wiedzę na ten temat. Pomożemy z wyborem uczelni i kierunków, pomożemy napisać wszystkie dokumenty pisemne, począwszy od personal statement po listy referencyjne, pomożemy złożyć aplikację w systemie UCAS lub wysłać ją bezpośrednio do University of Portsmouth. Później pomożemy w znalezieniu mieszkania i dopięciu wszystkich formalności. Tyle ode mnie. Thank you very much again, Teddy, for joining us this evening. For those who would like to learn even more about studying at the University of Portsmouth, very soon on our YouTube channel, on the Educat YouTube channel, you will also have the opportunity to listen and watch an episode of our podcast where we dive deeper into some of the topics, into some of the programs that UOP offers. Thank you very much again for this evening, and I will see you very soon. Thanks very much. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.